And this has got some CAP stuff on it. But it's got Randy and the kids going up to the wreck also. This is at Salt Lake Airport. Look at them old airplanes there. There's
We should start over.
Colonel
Check how much is left on the film.
Colonel Naylor. Oh, on that?
Yeah.
Well, if it runs out, it'll go blank, won't it?
Yeah.
And there's, I can't think of that guy's name. See if it needs focusing. There's Harry Forsyth. He got killed in the first airplane I bought in on. And this is me flying this airplane here in the Delta CAP. Them old two-winger biplanes. There we go.
Is that an old Sternman?
That's an old Stearman, yep. Old Stearman. And there's me getting in her. I think I got a picture of me flying this in the mirror. We got down there and we had a flat tire, so we had to fix a tire on it. This is in Delta. And that's Herman Goring's nephew there, if I remember right. That's Al Billings. See, you had to crank this, yeah. Yeah, he was Herman Goring's nephew. He was their liaison officer. See, you had to crank that old thing up there. And then you energize it, and here we go. It's me and Al Billings a flying that jobber. There we go down the runway. That had a good engine in it. Just didn't wind up very fast, but she sure had power.
These pictures look good.
Yeah. There's old Al. Now, how did I get that? I must have been in the front. And yeah, I was in the front so I could take pictures. Here we are buzzing the airport in that thing. Boy, we come right down and buzzed the old hangar, and there it is down there. Some of the roads are where we're searching. There's the instruments. I don't know why they're that way, but there's me taking a picture of myself in the mirror flying that thing. Is both of the videos on?
Yep.
I got to learn how to do what you're doing one of these days, Randy. This is buzzing the airfield, and there's the old cargo plane. They flew us all down there and that, and Al and I flew this old Stearman down there. I think this was just a practice mission. I'm not sure. I might have a picture here of my first airplane I owned. That's the Sevier River just off the airport. That's a good picture, isn't it? You had to come in over that to land, and so we're probably coming in. There's another airplane ahead of us. This isn't that Stearman. This is another airplane. This must be the one that I owned in on. No, that's the Stearman. Now you can tell when she hits the ground if you watch. Wasn't a bad landing, but she's stalling out there. We hit. Me and Al Billings. Now we're taxiing up. About got us another airplane there. And we had them there. See, that's a little Air Force plane. Now, I wonder who took these pictures. Oh, that's somebody going out in it again, I guess, and I took the pictures. That's Jack Madsen. I know him. There's Narlene. She's reading the orders to fly, I guess. Or wherever, they're probably reading us the orders where the plane's down we got to look for. That's about as good as you get her, I guess. And there's the communications guy. See that guy on the right? He worked for Grandpa Rand. Then Glenning, and a power hammer went off and hit him in the head and killed him. He wasn't working for Grandpa Rand at that time, but they used to take us all over the country in that old airplane like that. There's Harry Forsyth, so he was alive then. And see old Clauden, he was the undertaker. When
You always go on your trips?
yeah, when Randy says that undertaker always go on your trips, he went up to get our airplane. There's the airplane we owned right there. That was the one Harry crashed in, killed him and his mother. And when they went up there, why, see, old Claude said, well, you guys won't need lunch. He said, I'll be the only one that'll eat. It hit a cliff and fell back, and you looked in the airplane, and there was you face to face with old Harry, and he'd been there 21 days. In the freezing and thawing weather. There, they're cranking that thing up again. See, you had to crank it up to get the inertia to start it. Better get out of the way, buddy. I don't know who's going up in it this time. They were a lot of fun to fly, but some of these pilots that hadn't had any time in them tried to do acrobats, and they'd crack up. One guy tried to do a loop 200 feet off the ground on Redwood Road. He's 6 feet under here now, him and another guy. I must have been in this airplane because I'm taking the pictures. There's the hangar down there, Delta. I want to get all these on video, and there's the sheriff. This looks like a group picture here. There's old Harry Forsyth. There's Herman Gorey's nephew right there, Lance. I know, but he was over here, and he was in our Air Force. There's old Glenn Enns Deming and Bill Terry, that guy right there. Major Goring was his name. I don't know who that guy is. There's Al Billings, Jack Madsen, Harry Forsyth, Narlene. She went on all the missions with us. Well, that was a good group down there. I can't remember that guy's name either, but he was a good Civil Air Patrol member. I found them wings that went on my hat like that the other day. They're scarce. Boy, I could sell them to guys that collect them ornaments. Wonder who that guy is. Oh, he's old Paul Madsen. I remember him. Oh, this is where we had the flat and had to fix the rear tire before we could fly it. That was quite an old airplane. There's old Al getting in her again. This is our cadets here in American Fork. We had the best squadron in the state for about 12 years. This is up at encampment. It had to be on account of the barracks. There's old Bell. I recognize him, and old Sykes.
Doug Bell or
yeah,
the old
Marvin Bell. There's Humphreys, Lewis. Oh, what was that? That's old Mackie Boley, the millionaire. Whoops, shouldn't say that. This is my squadron here, encampment at Hill Field. I've been encampment commander. A lot of these encampments, I took the drill team back to Washington, and that looks like a sloppy bunch there. Yeah, that's pretty on the ball. Must have been a saluting me because I was standing watching them. See, one guy had done a saluting for the whole squadron. Oh, there's what they used to call them, the crack troops. Crack troops. The gal there thought she was really up to up. There's a bus taking us to Lagoon. This is where I had that one colored guy, and he didn't go, and I went back in the barracks, and he didn't want to go. They said they don't allow colored kids to swim in the pool. I said, well, you come and go with me, and we'll have some fun anyhow. So he went and rode all the rides. He was a sharp cadet. I can't remember his name. All these cadets would fall in love with the girls, and then they'd all cry. There's old McNeil. Well, there's little Randy. And there's the cadets from Luxembourg. Do you remember them?
No,
You probably don't.
I remember the ones from Brazil.
Yeah, well, these were from Luxembourg. There's old Wooten. There's Randy and Dwayne. This would have been in the 50s sometime. I don't remember, but there's the escort and DeVere Wooten, Narlene and Mrs. Wooten. They said when the Germans come into Luxembourg, they all took off their big hobnail boots and carried their rifle in one hand and their boots in the other so they couldn't hear 'em come in. That's getting off the airplane after we'd been somewhere. See, when we get these cadets, we'd take them down to the parks and everywhere and show them all over Utah. No, these are the Luxembourgs. Well, these might be the Brazilian. Let's see. I don't know. I can't tell unless I see their faces. I think these were the Brazilian cadets here. Yeah. No, I'm not sure. No, these are the Luxembourgs. Yeah, I remember them. Ain't many guys got pictures of them old airplanes like that. That was a workhorse of the Air Force and the Army. C-47 was the number of them. Old C-47. There's old J.R. Price bringing the goodies home to the barracks to eat. He's got an armload of pop there, ain't he? He was a little smart aleck. He's too smart for his own britches. Well, that's a jet flying around somewhere up there. This must have took him to the jets at Hill Field. Or no, this might be when I went back to fly jets. No, this is still Hill Field. There's old Guy Humphreys. And that's that no, there's old Lewis.
Who's that name?
Marvin Bell. Oh, what was that kid's name? He worked for Al Billings. There's Mackie Boley. And this is flying across the Great Salt Lake Desert out there. I think it's me and Merrill Liston flying to Elko. That's Merrill in one plane and I was in the other. Aren't too good, but you can sure see if it wasn't very far from one another. That looks like a bird dog there. I think it's just the film, Randy.
Yeah, there's gunk collected all around the edges.
Well, we'll have to.
I've got the camera zoomed in so it doesn't pick most of it up. If you look at it here, it's horrible.
Oh. This is a trip to Elko. Now, this is up Timp to the wreck, and there's Randy. Your cowboy hat. You remember going up to that? You should.
Yeah, I remember.
There's old Tracy. We went up to the Beef 25 wreck that summer. We was probably the first ones in there after the snow went down. Who's that guy? Arland, or I can't tell who it is, but there was you and, boy, you got so tired we had to pack you half the way back down. Uh-oh, there's a cowboy outfit. Somebody got me. This B-25 crashed into Timp in the middle of winter in a storm. No, it was about in March. And a storm covered it up, or it was either March or February. There's the wreckage of it. There's one of the motors clear down the hill. Boy, we can say we've been one of the few that's been up to that. There's Randy looking it over. Randy and Dwayne. What was that guy's name I said? He dug us water right out of a cliff up there and got us a nice drink of water. It hit higher up and then kind of fell down the mountain. Tracy says, warning. Explosives planted. They blew it apart so people couldn't see it. Who's that guy there? Do you know, Randy?
Yeah, I know him. He teaches over, or he works over at BYU now. I can't remember his name, but was it Tracy?
Well, Tracy does, yeah. There's Randy, and he's about to give out, him and Dwayne, after that long hike. Old Dwayne, he's about had it there. He don't know whether he wants to go any farther or not. Boy, it was hot and clammy, and old Dwayne, he was about pooped there. He didn't want to go any farther. And I think this is coming down. Oh, here's the Brazilian cadets that stayed at our house. These cadets came over from Brazil, and they stayed at my place, and DeVere Wooden's place. And they called my little car the little one, El Chico.
Lance.
There's Lance. Where'd he go? Well, he's there somewhere. Well, that's the end. Shut him down.